Hey, everybody.
We rolling with it. Because you're retarded. Oh, let me not say retarded. I don't want to offend anyone because somebody definitely came for me for saying that in the video.
Oh, no. Michael, you're just off. Okay. I got you. Welcome back to our channel, everybody. Of course, that's Lashawnda. And I'm the Mike.
Yeah, and this is the second episode of the Let's Talk About It podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about why we ain't got married yet. Because we have been engaged for... How many years have we been engaged, Michael? A long time. It's been at least 2 years. It's been at least 2 years.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, and people starting to side-eye us like,
Yeah.
What y'all doing over there? Y'all, what's going on?
But there's a reason behind the madness, guys.
What's going on with y'all?
There's a reason. I don't...
We a mess, y'all. Y'all got to ignore us.
Now, we're super excited because we finally got our setup for us to be able to do these videos.
Yeah.
And so we're both like really excited right now because it's taken a while to do a video together because we haven't liked our background.
And the enemy ain't wanted us to record this today.
My gosh,
we ran into so many issues.
Guys, well, I almost had an argument over nothing.
We did. We need to talk about the argument situation.
Okay. Well, we had... Let's go ahead and let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So we've noticed that every video that is up on our channel, maybe with I don't even know if I can even say that. Every time it is a day that we have planned to record a video for our channel, we fall out about something.
Every single time.
And it's crazy because
we never argue.
Right? And it seemed like something always happens to throw our energy off with each other right before it's time for us to record. And so we have to hurry up and kind of like rekindle what's going on so that we can show up with the right energy for the video. Because we're like, nah, we ain't got time for this. Like, we supposed to be recording. We already ain't recorded in a long time because y'all know we ain't consistent.
The enemy comes for us, man. So much to a point that whenever it happened today, we both looked at each other like, nah.
Not today.
Nah, not today. We got to record.
Yep.
So we got past that.
We did.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we come over here and we have to download this whole new app thing to even get both these microphones to work. Right. As we're doing that and we're navigating through that, my chair breaks.
In the middle, like he just sitting down and it's just like tumbling.
Yeah, leg comes right off.
What's going on?
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
Right. And so we had so many issues trying to get our mics to work. At the time we were supposed to record, we ended up having a heart-to-heart conversation for like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And finally we were like, look, we ain't got the kids here today. Like the kids are gone for the weekend. It's beautiful outside. We had perfect lighting for us to record. Like we need to talk about this on the podcast or something. Like we need to get it together. And then we start trying to get our mics to work. They don't want to work. And then we got to look on YouTube to figure out how to even, utilize what we're using to get the mics to work. So that was a whole thing. In the middle of us doing that, Michael's chair just breaks.
Yeah. And then here's the thing. It was the most beautiful day I've ever seen.
It was.
Literally, the sun was shining in here. Yeah. The sun was in here. Spirit fingers all over the place. Yeah. And then everything went wrong until dark time.
Yeah.
And I'm like.
And then we were like, dang, we finally got it now. And we done lost all the lights. So we was like, you know what? Let's turn our little lights on in the back for our little setup. And we're going to make it happen. So here we are. I know this ain't what the episode is about, but I digress. We had a little moment. But we want to talk to you guys about why we ain't married yet and what is going on. And it's not as bad as you guys think it is. Because I think that when people see that someone has been engaged for a long time, they instantly think like, oh, something going on. They don't really want to get married. Right. Like I've heard, especially with like the TikTok podcasts, with the couples and like, what I'm talking. If you know, with the relationship podcast and the relationship guru, like, oh, if he ain't married you in 2 years, he don't love you and he don't want you and he ain't gonna. It ain't even that deep, y'all. It ain't that deep, okay?
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, it's more if it was up to Michael, we would have been married. We would have been married 2 years ago, even if we would have went to the courthouse. It's been me. I'm not gonna lie. Where I'm like, nah, we need to do this the right way. I want to have a wedding. I ain't trying to go to the courthouse. Okay. And I'm willing to wait and stay engaged a little longer for us to be able to set money to the side, save some money up so that we can have at least a decent wedding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The good thing though with like 2023 though is, man, we put a lot of work this last year to put us in the space to even consider getting married this year, and I'm so glad that we did that. That's why, like, you see all the stuff in the background. We're doing a lot of different content creation and stuff on, you know, on the side to get to that place, you know, where we're more successful. And we've been putting in a lot of work, and it takes a lot of sacrifice for us to even be able to do that. There's a lot of times that we don't get to spend together because we're working separately on something. But yeah, go into the non-traditional part.
Oh yeah. So in reference to the non-traditional, so I think that it also the 2 years that we have been engaged has also given me and him the opportunity to figure out, what do we even want our wedding to look like?
Right.
Because originally when we first made the decision, like, okay, we're going to get married, and when we get married, we want to, I think our original plan was, we're going to go on a cruise, and we're going to get married somewhere exotic, and we're just going to have a couple of friends, you know, that we're going to invite out to come and celebrate with us. Like, our vision then is completely different from our vision now. And I want to talk about it. So here's the thing with me as a woman that is engaged. I feel that I'm a non-traditional woman when it comes to getting married, because I never had the dream of getting married and I already know what my dress is going to look like. And, you know, I didn't have that fairy tale idea of getting married. If I'm being honest, I didn't even know if I wanted to get married ever. And so that was just not something that I fantasized about. And I find that a lot of women tend to fantasize about the idea of getting married. So when we got engaged, I'm like, how does this work? Because like, we're supposed to plan all of this? Like, I don't even know the first thing to start with. So for that, Michael was laughing at me because the thought of planning it was stressing me out.
Right.
And so I felt that I was procrastinating on even starting the process, because every time I would think about the wedding, different elements would just stress me out. And I want to talk about a couple of them and what we have decided, or what has come up as a resolution for all of these. But the first thing that would stress me out is I feel that people that I care about don't show up for me the way that I would like for people to show up for me. And so the first concern that I had with us getting married was, who's going to be my bridesmaids? And I'm being real with y'all, because y'all my friends. Y'all are people, okay? So this is a safe place, I'm assuming, okay? Right. But that was one of the first concerns I had. I'm like, Michael, I can count on one hand how many people I could invite to be my bridesmaids. And then two, out of all of the people that I could consider to be my bridesmaids, I don't see not one of those people committing and showing up for me. And that bothered me. I said that I don't feel that I have any friends that would go out of their way to throw me a bridal shower, or go out of their way to even purchase the dress. Like, there were just so many little elements that stressed me out. And I'm like, what if this person tries to make it about them and they try to, you know, throw a temper tantrum, because that's what they tend to do. And so I just kept putting it off. And I'm like, I'm not going to really worry about this yet. Let's get our finances together, figure it out. And then eventually 2 years went by.
Yeah, time goes by really fast anymore. It really does.
Yeah, 2 years went by, and we were just like, we saw y'all's comments. We saw the comments. If you've ever commented, like, have y'all got married yet? What's going on? When is the date? Send us the invite. Where's the registry?
And you got to see things from my point of view too. You know, I knew that this was stressful for her, so I have to be patient. I can't be pushy, because if I start being pushy, it's only going to make her pull back and be more stressed out. So, you know, I think for the both of us, we had to come to a place. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was, if I'm being honest, the thought of the wedding is what stressed me out, not the thought of the marriage. I knew that the marriage part would be really great. Like that, I don't feel like I had cold feet in reference to that. It was literally doing the wedding part. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work. And so then me and Michael had a conversation, and eventually we got to the place where we were like, well, what if we don't invite nobody? What if we just go and elope and just go to the courthouse and, you know, just kind of do it like that? So we kind of entertained that for a little bit, and we were like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So if we're being honest, we almost ended up being married in December of this past year. That was the second plan. We were like, well, before the new year, we're going to get married in December. We'll just go to the courthouse. We don't have to tell anybody. We could just go ahead and do it on the low. And then we'll have like a public wedding or something like that after the fact. But we'll at least already be married. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because we wanted to do right in the eyes of God. So obviously we got a lot of comments on here as well. And then with Michael and his ministry, it has been brought up multiple times, like, this is not right in the eyes of God. So let's talk about it. Michael, I'm going to give you the mic on that one, because you've had a lot of people talk to you about that with your ministry.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of people, especially like disciples and stuff like that, have come to me, and they have mentioned to me about the ramifications of not being married, living in the same household and stuff like that. And I absolutely, one of the things that you'll learn with me is I'm very open to people's opinions. Because who knows, you know, if my thought process on things is right or wrong, you know. So I definitely love to hear people's process. Mm-hmm. And because I am a God-fearing man and I am with somebody that's a God-fearing woman, it is logical for us to definitely become one, you know, up under the eyes of God, of course. And I wouldn't want to live in a relationship for a long period of time that did not honor especially what I'm doing, like going out there and praying over people and stuff like that, and giving messages and stuff like that when I myself am not married. So it's definitely been a question that's been brought up quite a few times from a few different people, and I completely agree and understand. And that's why we're putting more focus of this year of making this happen. So then that way we can actually do things the right way, because you know, it bothers us too. It does. It affects us too, because I'm going to be honest with you. I know God has showed up for us. I can't tell you how many times. Man. God only knows what blessings will come whenever we do become one. So I'm definitely thoroughly looking forward to us getting married. And, you know, it has taken a while. However, we have definitely come to a place where we've got an idea of how we want to do this. And one of my biggest things was I didn't want to rush it and then her be regretful of her big day, because it's her first big day. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want for Shawnda to be resentful or regretting her very first big day.
And let's talk about that, because that's the reason why we didn't get married in December. Because as we continued to kind of move forward with that, it instantly didn't feel right in my spirit, because we were like, oh, well, let's do this, and then no one has to know. And then my first question was, so when would our official anniversary date be then? Because would it be on the day we got married on the low, or will it be on the date that we had the actual ceremony? Like, I'm confused. And so then that was the first issue. And then the second issue was, if I procrastinated 2 years on us getting to this place where we finally come to the agreement, we're like, okay, we're going to go to the courthouse and then we're going to have this wedding. Right. I felt that based on my previous behaviors, that the wedding was not going to happen if we moved forward that way. Because if we're already married, then why is there a priority to get have the wedding now because we already know we're married. And so I felt that I would have grown resentful if I would have moved forward and I would have felt like I was doing it out of pressure, out of peer pressure. Because at one point we were being highly peer pressured to get married, to be right in the eyes of God. And don't get me wrong, I understand that is a priority. But at the same time, for me, I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm doing this for other people. I want to be able to do this for us and for God. But Michael has been married twice, so he's gone through the experience before. For me, this is my first time being engaged. This will be my first wedding. And I'm just like, why do I have to settle and go to the courthouse because we want to look right in the eyes of God? Like, I want to have a wedding, even if it's small, even if it's intimate. I want us to get married the right way based on my vision, as small as it is, because it's not like I want a $50,000 wedding and my dress got to be $3,000. Like, I'll get a $50 dress from Shein, to be honest. Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff, but I want it to be an experience, and I didn't want to feel that I was pressured out of the experience, you know?
Right.
That's how I felt.
I completely understand. And I completely support you on how you feel about that because, you know, the thing is us getting married and me choosing you to be my wife, I want you to be a happy wife.
Right.
So the good thing is, though, is like I said, 2023, we have definitely set ourselves up to be able to make 2024 this being our year. And we've actually gotten to a place where we know how we want to do it and what it looks like, which makes it a lot simpler for us.
So let's talk about that. Do you want to talk about it, or you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, I want you to talk about it.
You want me to talk about it? Okay, so this is the plan. So what we want to do is we want to have an intimate ceremony. And when I say intimate, I mean like intimate. So the only people that I don't know who Michael ideally is going to invite to our actual ceremony part, but I know the kids will be there. My mom will probably be there. Maybe a couple other immediate family members or friends. But on my side, I don't see more than 5 people on my side. They're just for me based on, and I'm making a guesstimate, but based on what I think, about 5 people on my end and however many people on his end. And what's really important for me is the photography and the videography of it. I want to invest in the photography portion and invest in the videography portion so that we can have the keepsake, because the pictures and the video is what is going to be what we remember, you know what I'm saying, in the future with our wedding. So for that, I want us to have our intimate wedding or ceremony, whatever you want to call it, and then use one of the photos from us getting married during the ceremony to announce to everyone else that we just got married. Yep. And when we do that, then that's when we're going to invite people to the or what do we call it? The wedding celebration.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be inviting everybody to the celebration.
Right. So we're not going to have you go to the ceremony and then after that you go to this other venue for the reception. We're not doing that. We're not doing all of that. Every time I think about doing it that way, it stresses me out because there's just too many technicalities behind all of that. And so for me, we get our ceremony the way that we want. It's intimate. It's small. We don't have to worry about bridesmaids. So I'm not going to have no bridesmaids because I don't want to be stressed out over other people's decisions and other people's actions during our day.
Right. And I don't want us to put too much responsibility on a whole mess of people either. So
that I don't even talk to like that. Like, no. So we eliminated that stress. And then that way with the celebration, it's going to be more so like a party. So it's going to feel like a reception kind of, sort of, but it's going to be more so like a party. We're not inviting everybody to the ceremony to actually see us get married. To us, that's not really important. And the celebration is where if you come, you come. If you don't, you don't. Like, it's not going to hurt our feelings if you don't come to the celebration. We want to make sure that we create an atmosphere and an experience where we will have a good time at our celebration, and we are going to extend the invite to anyone that wants to come, but there's no obligation for you to come. There's no commitment for you to come.
Right. There's no expectations.
Expectations is a great word.
So we're not going to be upset if people don't show. We're not going to take it to heart.
Right. And I think that the reason why we're reiterating that a lot is because that was one of the main stressors for me. I fear that, and this is why I don't host parties, this is why I don't do birthday parties like that, because I've been burned in the past. And I look at how people show up for me, and if you've listened to my other episode or the one that we did before this one, I talked about how I'm cutting a lot of people off because of other things. But I just realized that I need to clean slate and that I need to start fresh with my circle and start developing healthy relationships with people that will show up for me the way that I show up for them. Because I feel that I show up for people, and then when I have something going on, all of a sudden you're busy or you flake, or it's just always something. And so this is why I feel insecure about hosting anything, because I don't know how everything's going to go. And when you talk about a wedding and everybody's like, oh, invite me, make sure you let me know. Like, I don't want to be paying for you to come to this wedding. And then, as y'all know, like, a lot of people get upset because you pay per plate. And it's like, a wedding can be very expensive. And I'm going to feel some type of way if I done paid for your food and paid for your RSVP and then you don't show up. Like, so the celebration puts me at ease. It puts him at ease. Because like I said, Michael, he been wanting to get married. He was ready last year. Like, let's do it. You know, I don't need no wedding. Like, if we do a wedding, it's because you want to do a wedding, but I'm good either way.
Right. And like I said, there comes a fine line of, you know, making a decision and also supporting your spouse, you know, and that line.
Loud trucks. It's crazy here.
Yeah, there's always loud vehicles going by here. But yeah, on that fine line, you know, it is important to get married. Absolutely. It's also important to make sure that that experience is worth it.
Right.
And that's what I wanted for Shawnda, was to make sure that that experience was, you know, 10 years from now, she could look back and say, man, I'm so glad we did that. You know,
right.
And then the pictures and videographer and stuff like that makes a lot of sense to me, because a lot of stuff I feel is not captured, and I feel like that is a moment that should absolutely be captured so that we can relive that moment, especially later on down the road. If we ever have like an argument or something, we could pop that thing in and be like, okay, gotcha.
And a very big part of the video portion too, not only do I want the video for us, but I also want the video for YouTube, because I want to be able to incorporate us getting married and take you guys along the experience. There's been a few couples that I follow, like on their family vlogs and stuff like that, and I was introduced to them through their wedding vlog. And I think it tells a story about the people that you are following on YouTube, for example, or whatever. And not only that, it's something that we can easily look back on years later, like, dang, you remember when we got married, and you remember the behind the scenes, because every video has a story behind it, whether you guys know about it or not. But every video has a story, and I want our wedding to be something that other people can experience as well, because sometimes you really need those things. Kind of give you hope. Those things kind of give you that desire, and like, dang, maybe I can have something like that one day.
Right.
You know,
it gives inspiration to people.
It does. And I'm one of those people where I don't march to everyone's beat. I don't know what it is about it, but I don't go off of the trends. So I think that it's also a good thing to do to showcase that your wedding doesn't have to look like everybody else's wedding. Your wedding doesn't have to be traditional like everybody else's wedding. If that's not what you want, do it the way that you want, because it's at the end of the day about your experience.
Right.
So,
and we definitely want to take you guys along the journey, like she said, because some of you guys have been there with us since the beginning. Like, some of you guys y'all seen us move. Y'all have seen me reconnect with my son. Y'all have seen my family being introduced to my son and stuff like that as well too. So there's been a lot of major milestones that have happened. Y'all have seen the weight loss happening, especially compared to like some of our very first videos.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of things that you guys have followed with us on. And this is definitely something that we want to be able to share with you guys as well, too, because it's very important.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we can wrap it up there then. I think that we kind of got drilled the point home that we're good. For those that were curious, we're great, and we will be married this year.
Yeah, most definitely.
We will be married this year.
And we definitely appreciate the love and support that we get from you guys as well, too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Make sure that you leave a comment. I know you guys tend to comment below, so definitely let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're already married, tell us about your wedding experience. What was it like when you guys got married? Did you do a traditional wedding? Did you do a non-traditional wedding? Like, what did that look like for you? And until next time, we'll see you guys. Bye.